So we're gonna come right into just a comfortable seat to begin. Just a little seated meditation to start. So as you arrive, find a comfortable seat with the hips elevated so that your spine can maintain normal spinal curves. And then just draw your hands to your heart. Let your thumbs press up against the sternum. Let your eyes close gently. And just feel into your body as it is right now. Feel the hips supported on the earth or on a prop. Feeling the pelvis stable. And imagine the rib cage floating over the pelvis. And send the breath right away, right into the rib cage. Feeling the breath expand 360 degrees around the rib cage, spreading the ribs out in all directions on the inhale and returning towards center on the exhale. Feeling yourself as dynamic, constantly changing. And welcoming sensations in the rib cage, in the upper back, in the sternum, the chest bone as it meets your thumbs. Maybe as you breathe into this space, you start to realize emotions, feelings, beliefs about yourself. Whatever arises, welcome it to be there. Allow yourself to spend the next 15 minutes or so being with yourself just as you are. And then let the heel of your hands, the pinky and the thumb, stay together, but then let the middle three fingers drift apart so that you create a cup with the hands. Sometimes this is called lotus mudra. And as you open the palms and the fingertips, feel the inhale, fill this cup. As you set an intention for this practice. As you take this time out to be filled up. Asking yourself, how do I need to be filled? And then feel that intention in the present moment as achieved, as realized. As true in this present moment. And then start to bring your hands back together, sealing that intention. And we'll drift very gently right into our first posture without losing that awareness or connection to your intention. And bring the soles of your feet together out in front of you towards a large butterfly position. And then maybe without even moving the hands, allow yourself to just fold forward into yourself. Bowing, acknowledging your heart's desire. And then once you're bowing forward, then maybe your hands release. Maybe the hands come towards the feet. Or maybe the palms even turn upward. Like that open palm mudra in a sense of receiving. Letting go of any efforting and allowing yourself time to be filled. In this heart opening practice, we first have to open our hearts towards ourselves. First, by learning to accept and welcome ourselves just as we are. So as you turn in, surrender to this present moment. Maybe repeating the affirmation to yourself. May I be at peace with myself as I am right now. And then let go of the head by shaking the head no. Letting the head drop beneath the level of the heart. And feel the back of the heart as your high point in this pose. That heart opening turned inward towards yourself. And start to welcome your heart's deepest desire. That thing that you want more than anything else in this life. That thing that makes you feel alive, like life is being lived through you. Welcome and feel that buoyancy behind the heart as you welcome your life's purpose. Realize to you in this present moment. Let go of thinking and feel that as a felt sense in your body. Spend a few more breaths here, shaking the head no, letting the heaviness fall out of the shoulders as you open your heart inward for yourself during this practice. Take 3 more breaths. On each inhale, feel the spreading of the shoulder blades in the mid-back, cracking open the space between the shoulder blades so that the heart can radiate out through the middle of the back. Take 1 more breath. And then letting your head be the last thing to come up. Bring your hands, turn them down. Walk your hands up, back towards you. Returning back to a seated position. Taking your hands to the outside of your knees, pulling the knees together, and maybe giving yourself just a little hug. Returning to center. Notice any feelings, any emotions, any beliefs about yourself that arise. Welcome them fully. Feel them in your body as you start to crack open to the depth of your heart. And if there's any internal friction or judgment or overthinking, return to that statement. May I be with myself, or may I be at peace with myself as I am right now. And again, without breaking that awareness, we'll come into our next posture. So we're going to take our right knee over the left. We call it Indian shoelace pose. So now instead of opening the legs, we're crossing the midline with the legs. Here it's very helpful to be up on a cushion and or a blanket. If that's not high enough, find a block or a little stool or a couple books. And if still that's not comfortable, the bottom leg can extend open at any time. So arrive here. Let the gaze come downward. Soft, natural breath. First, feeling into the sensation of the hips. And then let the arms reach up, finding length in both sides of your waist. And then now we're going to wrap the arms into eagle arms, and the right hand is going to come underneath the left. So right leg over and right arm under. And then try to bring the palms to touch, or the fingers to the opposite thumb. If you can't get a clasp or a grasping, just bring the forearms together. And what I want you to think about doing here is expanding the distance that you feel from front to back. So press your elbows forward and then press the space behind your heart back. So with each inhale, expand in the front to back or the anterior to posterior direction. And then with each exhale, feel yourself broaden front to back even a little bit more. And then maybe here the head just rests in the hands. And if this feels like a good edge, like it's challenging but sustainable, stay here. Or maybe now you fold forward again, bringing your elbows down into your sternum so that you tuck the elbows in towards the chest, tuck the head towards the throat, and open the space between the shoulder blades even a little bit more.
Again, letting the head drop beneath the level of the heart. Breathing into the back door of the heart. Creating this heart opening first in an inward direction towards ourselves. Noting how you're approaching this. Are you efforting? Or are you meeting yourself with kindness and compassion? Ask yourself, how can I soften into this pose? How can I relax and nurture myself in this pose a little bit more? Continue to breathe into that space between the shoulder blades, unlocking the breath in the space between the back of the heart and the spine of the thoracic spine. So trying to breathe into that space between the pocket of the heart and the spine. Take one more breath. Exhale all the way through the mouth. Then slowly rise. Unfurl the arms out and back up. Reach upward, even bring your gaze upward. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand towards the floor. Right arm reaches up and out. You can stay in the reaching action, or here you can even let the arm just fall down and wrap around the head. Think about not working here, but allowing gravity to bring you down to the earth. So now you're opening through this sidewall of the heart. You may find that you even want to come onto your forearm. If you have a prop, your bolster will do, some blocks will do, even a little stool would do, but none of them are necessary. Meet yourself exactly where you are and send all of your awareness now to the right side of the heart. Under the shoulder blade. Breathing in now into that space between the ribs, cracking the ribs open. Feeling the breath fill the area between the right side of the heart and the right ribs. And focus on your breath, because the right side of the heart sends that oxygenated blood to the lungs. The blood to the lungs to be oxygenized. So with each inhale, feel the inhale fill the body with oxygen, nourishing the blood, pulling in the nutrients into your body. Refreshing our blood and changing our internal chemistry. The blood purifies all things. So the heart in Sanskrit is called Anahata, which means unstruck or pure. So it's in our hearts that we purify all things. Take one more breath, feeling the breath fill you. Feel the lungs circulate around the heart. And then take your right hand up and use the right hand reaching back to the right to pull you back up towards sitting. And then now uncross the legs. We'll come right to the other side, coming into our counter pose. Maybe pedal them out just a little bit. Feel that rush of sensation. Prana, or the chi, energy rushing through you. And then left knee over right knee stacked. Keep both sit bones supported on a surface. So use a blanket or a block or a stool. And first feel the sensation of the hips. Settle into the hips, creating a solid base. So in order for the heart to open and expand and radiate outward, we need to have a firm foundation. So build that foundation in your pelvis and your hips. And then reach the arms up, keeping the rib cage stacked over the pelvis. And then as you exhale, wrap the left arm now under the right, bringing your palms to meet, thumbs pointing towards you. And begin by breathing in the front to back direction, with each breath expanding the body, elbows reaching forward, mid-back reaching back, taking as much forward to backward space as possible. And stay here if this feels like your edge, if you're breathing into the edge of your sensation, but able to sustain it comfortably. Or you can start to tuck the elbows into the sternum in this variation, pushing the sternum back, lifting the back of the heart up as your head falls into your hands. Breathing again into that space between the shoulder blades. Opening the heart inward towards yourself. Recognizing your unstruck nature. The internal jewel. Perfect and whole. Welcome in that part of you. Accepting yourself just as you are. Maybe repeat that affirmation again. May I be at peace with myself as I am right now. Reconnecting to your innate, perfect, unblemished self. Feeling your breath and your awareness circle back into that space behind the heart, filling that space between the back of the heart and in front of the spine. Unsticking the heart from the back wall of the thorax. And then slowly rising, unfurling the arms so they reach up and overhead again. Breathe into the sides of the waist, and then as you exhale, right arm comes down towards the floor, and left arm reaches up and overhead, first reaching out of the side waist, keeping your left hip down and left side long. And then maybe you start to feel gravity take over, letting the body be heavy. And then collapsing head, trunk, arm over to the right, sending all of your awareness now to the space between the heart and the ribs on the left side. Filling that space around the left side of the heart with your breath, cracking open the ribs. Now connecting with the function of the left side of the heart. Feeling the nourished blood, that oxygenated blood that's returned from the lungs, being pumped out to every cell in your body. Allowing the left side of the heart, the lungs, the rib cage to expand. Let your head be heavy, allowing the head to surrender to the heart. Notice your face, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyes. Cultivating compassion, kindness, self-love, as we start to tap into these areas of the heart that are often untouched. As we learn to turn that love inward so that we can in turn radiate outward better without losing our center, without losing ourself. So just like our breath, love, compassion, charity can flow through us. Take a few more deep feeling breaths, feeling the sensation of the breath circulate, nourish, and radiate around the heart. Take one more deep letting go breath. And then bring your left hand out to the left side, reaching with your left hand, then pushing up through the right to pull you back to center. Use your hands to help the legs out of the cross. Maybe leaning back and just rocking the legs side to side, feeling the sensation throughout the whole body. Maybe a sense of vibrancy, of aliveness, maybe a tingling or flushing sensation. Notice the feelings of the body as you integrate the postures. And when those feelings have subsided, start to make your way towards hands and knees. If you'd like to pad your knees, you can. It's totally optional, but since you have your blanket, it may just feel nice. And now this posture is actually called Anahatasana. So Anahata and Asana. So basically heart pose or heart opening pose. In Yin, sometimes it's called melting heart posture. So bring your knees onto your blanket. Keep the hips right over your knees. And now we're going to do one side at a time to begin. So you're going to walk the hands forward, but keep the hips high. And as you arrive, take your left arm and bend it at the elbow so it comes across your body, like a kickstand. And then keep the right arm straight. And so the right side is the side you're stretching right now. So let your head rest on your hands. And feel the right armpit drop towards the floor. As the back of your heart now drops down towards the floor, and it's like you're cascading down your spine. So now you will start to allow the sternum or the chest bone to start to protrude forward. Creating as much length and space as you can through the right side of the body, reaching the right hip crease back and the right fingertips forward. Feel the right arm as an extension of the heart. So feel from the heart space down the arm right into the palm of the right hand. And now we're allowing the heart to melt towards the floor. So the back of the heart is dropping towards the front body and dropping towards the floor. Letting go of any efforting to hold up that space behind the heart. Allowing it melt to the earth as if it's being caught by Mother Earth and cradled by Mother Earth. Wherever you are, can you begin to cultivate possibly a sense of joy here? Feeling joy in the body, beginning in the heart space, and then radiating out to the right hand, like rays of light from the sun. Feel that begin at the heart. Move down the arms, out the palm and out the fingertips, bringing the sense of joy to this posture. Holding for 3 more breaths. And then drawing your right arm back in, pushing in through your left a little bit to help you. Come back towards child's pose for a moment and just let your hands come down by your sides, letting the forehead rest on the earth. And as you're ready, walking your hands in front of you again, returning to hands and knees, keeping the hips high. Let the left arm walk out in front of you now as the right arm comes like a kickstand across so that the forehead can rest there. Making the left side of the body from fingertips to hip crease as long as possible. Allowing the back of the heart to cascade downward, almost slide or melt downward towards the floor. Feeling the breath beginning at the heart, radiating from the heart space down the left arm now, in through the left palm and out the left fingertips. Visualizing our arm being an extension of our heart. It's through our actions in this world, the use of our hands, our skills, our tools that allow us to let love be seen. Love in action. Again, cultivating physical sensations in the body of joy. Feeling that joy at the heart. Beaming out from the heart space down your left arm. Sensing what the physical sensation of joy feels like in the body. And extending it to this posture. Noticing where in your body you may not be feeling those sensations of joy, and how you can lean in or back off to cultivate that sense through your whole body. And then bring your left hand under your shoulder. Come back to child's pose. Hands can cup your heels. Or maybe the palms just rest open again. In that position of receiving, palms towards the sky, by your feet. As you ask yourself how, at this point in the class, how can you nourish your heart? How can I be at peace with myself as I am right now? What is my body asking for? And how can I respond with love and kindness? And as you feel ready, if it feels right at all, reach your hands out in front of you, keeping the hips high. Walk both hands out now, bringing your chest towards the earth as close as you can, pressing the sit bones back, feeling the heart cascade forward and down to the earth. If the heart touches the earth, the chin can come towards the ground. Otherwise, keep the forehead on the ground. And now here, cultivating breath awareness in all directions around the heart. Feeling your breath circulate around the heart, the back of the heart that we opened, the side of the heart, and the front of the heart. Feeling the heart be bathed and nourished. Feeling the breath just run down all sides of it, allowing your heart to melt a little bit more towards the floor. Allowing the heart to be cradled by the earth. Cultivating sensations of joy. Radiating out from the heart, down the arms, into the palms and out the fingertips. Feelings of joy as a felt sense through the whole body. And if that's hard to access, how can you give yourself external support? What do you need to make this posture feel joyful, comfortable, and sustainable to you? Take 3 more breaths here. 3 more deep, heartfelt feeling breaths. And then make your way all the way to your belly. All the way down on your belly. Turn your palms up by your sides. Let your head turn to one side. Now maybe you leave this blanket under your pelvis if it feels like it's supported, or you can take it out. We're coming into our final twist before we set up for a nice prolonged heart opening. This twist is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit backwards because it's going to focus more on the upper body. So take your left arm like a T. Reach it out to your side. Press the palm into the earth. And then take your right hand like a kickstand into the ground and start to roll backwards onto your left side. Once you get here, take the right leg like a kickstand. So we're still getting the rotation from the pelvis by pressing through the right heel and pushing the right knee away from us. And now, just arrive here. Notice how it feels without rushing into any further variations yet. Feel your left arm push gently into the floor so that you feel that pressing down allow you to rotate back just a little bit more. Now, the right hand can come up and you have a couple of options. It can come into a half bind behind your back and maybe lock into the back of your pants. If you're really open in your shoulders, you may be able to interlace the palms behind you. And this is where I said you could use a strap if you wanted so that the hands could clasp behind and both arms could pull back. But I'm just going to stay with my top arm linked right behind my back. I can even try to press my right palm into the floor. Let the head be heavy. Let the gaze be soft. Unclench the jaw and let go of any efforting. And now bring all of your awareness to the breath. Feeling the breath flow in and up the front of the left arm, up across the chest, and down and back out the right arm. Like a water wheel, that breath is flowing up, across, and then cascading down the back. Feeling the circle of breath, the flowing in and the flowing out. Nourishing yourself in order to be able to nourish, share, and give to others. 3 more breaths here. Remembering your legs as well. Grounding the right foot into the earth. Feeling the whole body asana. And then unraveling, letting go completely, just falling right back towards your belly, letting your head turn towards the left, pausing for just a moment, allowing your shoulders to roll forward. And then taking your right arm out like a T, palm presses into the earth. Push your left hand down into the ground and rotate backwards over on top of the right shoulder, taking your left leg like a kickstand behind you. Push into the left foot, push the left knee away to get the whole pelvis to rotate back. Push the right arm down into the ground, engaging into the ground, and from the support of the earth, rotating back a little bit more. And stay here, or find the variation that feels right for you with your left arm. It can come into a half bind behind your back, or you may reach both arms back to interlace and hold a strap if that felt right or good. Listen to the sensations of the body. How can you meet yourself with loving kindness, even when you're at your edge, being pulled and twisted in all directions? How can you meet yourself here with self-love? Again, feeling the water wheel of breath begin and initiate at the bottom hand, sweep up and across the chest and down the back arm. Feel the full cycle of breath. The filling and the emptying. And as you're ready, rotating back towards your belly, letting your head turn towards the right. Letting your arms come by your sides. Shoulders drop forward. And then turning all the way onto your back for Shavasana. And in this version, I recommend, this is where I said having the foam or the bolster or something, or maybe even rolling up your blanket to prop up the spine. You can allow yourself to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana or supine or reclined butterfly and let the arms open up and let the heart still be that high point here.
So whatever feels right to you, even if you just roll your blanket up to create a little bit of lifting, allow yourself to recline. Settling in. Resting in the spaciousness around the heart. And from that space, feeling sensations of joy, of peace, of well-being, and love start to blossom. Feeling the heart space, radiating outward, filling the entire body. Resting here as long as you'd like. Thank you so much. Please feel free to stay and enjoy this as long as you need.